So how exactly does the bank create credit in a fiat system or a faith-based system or a fiduciary system that we all live in? The bank will accept deposits from customers and then create credit. But how exactly does that work? So we just take a fictitious €1,000 that a customer goes along, €1,000 of cash, he deposits that money into the bank. How does that become then credit? So the bank will have a bank deposit ratio of in or around 10%. Just for the purposes of this, we'll just assume it's 10%. So the bank holds on then to 10% of that €1,000 that this customer has gone in with and deposited into the bank. And they will then create €900 of credit. So they'll give out a loan of €900. Fairly straightforward so far, but how does it then create more money? Where's the faith element of this? The customer who gets the loan, let's say individual A, gets a loan of €900. That money is put into his account. And of that €900, 10% is retained by the bank as a deposit. And the other €810 then is given out in credit. Of that €810 given to individual B, 10% of that is retained and the remainder then is loaned out. So this is all based on the original deposit of €1,000. As we start to move down through the maths, we will see that the 729 is loaned out to an individual, that's put into his account, and then 10% of that is retained by the bank. 656.10 is created, and so forth right down. So I've just gone down through the maths just to play this out, just to see how far will this go. So every loan that is created, for example, a loan there of 282.43, that's deposited into some customer's account, the bank will hold on to 10% of that and then create the remainder and give that loan out, and so forth. So as we go further down, we'll see the amounts get smaller. So this, again, I remind you, is the original €1,000, and this is still creating credit. All these customers are getting these very small loans. 10% is then held by the bank, and the remaining 90% is loaned out. So as we go right down to very small figures, we can see then that €9,000 has been created. We're seeing now we're down to deposits of 1 cent. So €9,000 has been created from that 1,000. So that's roughly a reserve to deposit ratio of 1 to 9. So for every €1,000 that is deposited in the bank, given this bank deposit ratio, €9,000 of credit is simply created from that. And that's where we get the term fiat system. It's fiat money. It's money based on the faith that people have in the system.